friends, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Angie, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. So this is going to be the first video of a series where I go into very basic makeup things. So what I'm starting off with is a very basic overview of all the different types of makeup that's out there in terms of like product categories, bronzer, highlighter, all that kind of stuff. So I know when I was learning about makeup, I had no idea what any of this stuff was, and I watched so many videos until I finally got it. So if you don't know anything about makeup, hopefully this is a good place to start. And I'm also in the future gonna do like my what I think you need in a very basic makeup kit, etc. If you find this video helpful and if you like me, please don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of these videos. I have other different types of videos, but I'm hoping that this one will help out people. And let's just jump into it, shall we? So primer is what you're gonna apply before you put on other makeup. There are different kinds. There's ones for the face, there's ones for the eyes, there's ones for the lips, and there's even lash primers out there. And they all do different things. Some of them make your makeup last longer, some of them make color correct, some are brightening, mattifying, all of these kinds of things. So whatever your concern is, there's probably something out there for you. So foundation is gonna be the base of your makeup, and this is pretty much meant to provide even coverage, to even out the color on your face and the texture. Sometimes it doesn't even out the texture as ideally as you want, but there's different types. There's powder, cream, and liquid. Liquid is probably what you're gonna see mostly here on YouTube. I know a lot of people who use powder and creams as well. I just think liquid seems to be the most common that I see here on YouTube. So this is one of those things that is gonna be very dependent on your skin tone, not only light or dark of how your skin tone is, but also if the undertones, you could have like yellow undertones, you get more pink undertones, and it also depends which one's gonna work out for you on your skin type. And moving on to concealer, so it's mostly intended to cover up blemishes and dark circles. A lot of people nowadays use it for highlighting, so they create lighter areas in this part, these like in the center of the face, in order to make your face appear more dimensional. And these are usually in a small tube, and they contain less than foundation. They also usually cost less than foundation, and they're more full coverage because they can cover up those trouble spots. And it's also used for other things like carving out your cut creases. It kind of defines your eyebrows better, maybe fixes your liner, so you could use it for a lot of things. Next is setting powder. So setting powder is used to set makeup in place, which makes sense. It's usually best for more oily skin people because makeup tends to move around on your face throughout the day when it gets oily, so this kind of just helps lock it in place. If you're dry, setting powder may not be for you, or you may not want to use as much of it because it'll take out more of the moisture from your skin. And for setting, there's not only like an intended setting powder, people also use foundation powders. There's banana powders, which people use to set their under eyes because it brightens. And a lot of people use setting powder for this thing called baking. You might have heard of it before. Pretty much just applying excess powder and then wiping it away to either superset your makeup or to like carve out your contour, etc. I haven't baked that much, so I'm not really the best person to look to for information about that. So brow products. These are used to kind of create a more full or even looking brow. Is usually why you would use they have brow gel, they have brow pencils, pomades, and the brow gel will put your brow hairs in place. There's tinted and untinted. There's brow pencils, which I think is probably one of the more popular ways to go. And it's more pigmented to fill in sparser areas, and most of the time they have a spoolie at the end so you can kind of like brush your brow hairs into place. And a brow pomade is gonna be the most pigmented. So what a brow pomade is gonna do, it's gonna create the most defined look of your eyebrows. If you've seen the Instagram eyebrow trend, that's mostly what they use. And eyeshadow, I'm sure this is one of the most familiar forms of makeup, or one that you would have heard of. And it was intended to create dimension on your eyes. So like if you put it, it creates more dimension on your eyes. But of course nowadays there's so many different colors out there, and people use it for like different things. So there's just a lot of different types of eyeshadows out there. There's many things you could do. There's shimmers, matte, satin, glittery. There's so many out there. That's a whole separate video in itself. Eyeliner is used to define your eyes and make them stand out more, and there's like liquid, there's gel, and there's also pencil eyeliners. And if you've ever tried wing eyeliner for the first time, you will understand how hard that is. That is a skill that is not acquired easily. Moving on, mascara is to lengthen your lashes, volumize them, darken them, make them more defined. Usually black mascara is probably the most common color you're gonna find, but there are other colors of mascara. There's a lot of bright colored mascara and brown mascara out there. And moving on to bronzer. So bronzer is used to warm up the face, to create more dimension, and it kind of prevents you from looking like a big blob. So it kind of just adds more dimension to the perimeters of your face. I used to think that you put it all over your face to make you look more tan. This is why I'm making this video, because I know what I used to do. Generally, this is not, contouring and bronzing are not the same thing. Kind of same idea, but not the same thing. So now contouring is you're creating shadows to define certain features. So usually they're more cool tone than bronzers. You can do cream or powder. And this used to be a super huge trend back in the day. So basically what contouring is you're creating these shadows. So like if I put shadows on my nose, I can make it appear slimmer depending on where I put the shadows. And then on like the cheeks, you kind of carve out your cheekbone to where you want it to be. It can be used to define the jaw. And you can do this really a little bit, or you can do it a lot. But that's basically what it's for, is to create shadows, to kind of manipulate your face shape. And next is highlighting. Usually nowadays we know it not to be a matte powder, but it can be. Highlighting would still be like putting lighter colors on the high points of your face. But a lot of times these are more like shimmery colors, and like you'll see people wanting to like highlight to this outer space, and they're just used on the high points of face, again, to create more dimension. So it's just in the opposite way of what contouring was. And I almost forgot blush. I don't know how I almost did that, but blush is used to kind of create a flush on the cheeks. The pink kind of makes you appear more youthful, makes you appear healthy, like blood's flowing there, and that's pretty much all it is. It's not that exciting, but that's what it's for. Just gives you a little bit more life to the face. All right, and then lastly is lip color. Again, this is probably just as well known as eyeshadow, and people have been basically making coloring their lips since back in the day when they were using things that had lead in it or super bad for you, but we've moved on from that. So there's a lot of different types of little lip products. There's lip pencil, there's lip crayon, lipstick, liquid lipstick, lip gloss, lip stain, and these are all very, very different. They all have different finishes. So there'll be matte finish, there's satin finishes, glossy finishes, there's so many different colors. So there's neutral colors, which is called nude colors, there's bold colors, so your reds, your bright purples, your really bright colors. Then vampy is kind of the deeper colors, a really deep red, a deep purple, a dark brown, pretty much every color under the sun. And I can also do a separate video about that as well. But I really hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions about this kind of thing, or maybe a video that I should do kind of going along with the series in the future, let me know down below. I hope that you learned something today. If you were here looking for more information, and just leave me down below what else you want to see in this series, because I would really like some ideas of what people want to learn about. I'll see you in my next video.